Happy Monday, and welcome here to another edition of Husker Online Headlines. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, back from the weekend. Did you have a good weekend, Sip?
It was nondescript. Worked Saturday, worked Sunday. Wrote columns both days. I wrote my Tuesday column yesterday.
See, I worked Sunday.
Yeah.
But we went to Omaha. Did a little, my wife.
What's that called, that club you went to?
The Cottonwood Hotel. We went there with a bunch of my, like 16 people.
Fancy.
Well, it's like my wife's high school reunion.
There's a fancy
There was a
hotel.
big Columbus reunion going on there.
Yeah. Yes. We don't need to say the names, or maybe I don't know. Halfway a public figure, but yeah, what's it called? The Cottonwood Hotel.
The Kindler Cottonwood. Yeah.
The Kindler Cottonwood Hotel.
In the Blackstone district. So we were down
there.
Is
that the Kindler, that the same Kindler chain that's in Lincoln?
Or no, it's not the Kindler. I'm sorry. It's the Cottonwood Hotel.
Okay.
The Cottonwood Hotel. Yeah. I got my, but yeah, they have a pool.
Got your boutique hotels mixed up. That happens
went to the
with
pool,
you, Sean.
But that's kind of like the 35 to age 50 thing people do in Lincoln. You know, they go with couples and they stay the night, go to the pool.
God, I'm glad I'm not that age. You get your boutique hotels mixed up, though. I've noticed.
Hey, I'll put you back in your old hotels if you want.
I'm sorry. All right, let's.
But we got a good show on tap here,
Coach.
HuskerOnline Headlines. Let's get into number one. Mm-hmm. Ndamukong Suh officially announces his retirement, and you look at what Ndamukong Suh meant to Nebraska. You can argue post 2001, the Crouch Heisman Rose Bowl season, without a doubt, Ndamukong Suh is far and away the most significant thing that's happened in Nebraska football since the 2001 season. You look at his accolades as a college player. He won every single major award other than the Heisman,
mm-hmm.
and he was a finalist for the Heisman. He was one of the highest paid defensive players in NFL history.
At one point,
$168 million career earnings. His 6-year, $115 million contract in 2015 with the Dolphins was the richest ever for a defensive player at that time.
That's what I was going to say.
Surpassing J.J. Watt. So, obviously a 3-time All-Pro selection, twice second-team All-Pro, 5 Pro Bowls, was on the All-Decade team. More than likely an NFL Hall of Famer. I think it's more how quickly it happens. Is he a ballot 1, 2? I mean, how many years will it take for him to make the Hall, which would be fairly significant for Nebraska because they have not had, Will Shields, I believe, is their last, player that's played at Nebraska that made the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, I would say I come around on that. There was a time I was reading things that kind of questioned whether he belonged, but the more I looked at it, I just don't know how you can keep him out. The one thing that people will raise is he was fined $500,000 over the course of his career for dirty play. And he was known as a dirty player. I mean, there's no getting around that. But there's also a part of me that says, yeah, here's what Suh was to me, Sean. I don't know that you'd agree with this or not. He was a 1970s player in a different sort of era. He was a rough dude who plays a brutal game, in my opinion, the way it should be played. He took it a little far sometimes. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he was there's one time the Sporting News pulled 103 players who's the dirtiest player in the NFL, and Suh was the,
and probably Incognito's too.
Yeah, but but again, that's not enough to keep him out of camp.
No,
he was one of the best players of his generation.
Well, and I think like going to Tampa, playing with Tom Brady, winning a Super Bowl, that really, because all those years in Detroit and Miami, he wasn't on playoff teams. And I think that hurt him. But then to go play his final years with Tom Brady to get a Super Bowl.
He played on 3 Super Bowl teams.
Did they win? Did he win 3 rings?
No. He won 1, but he's on a short list of guys that played for 3 Super Bowl teams. It's a surprisingly short list of guys. If you gave me a second, I have it here, but yeah, here it is. He played, Sean, on Okay, the list of players who played in Super Bowls for 3 teams in addition to Suh is Rod Woodson, Bill Romanowski, Preston Pearson, Harry Swain, and Joe Juravicius. That's it. So Suh played in Super Bowls for each of his last 3 teams. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very often, obviously. So I don't know. You raised this point. You raised it yesterday. How integral Suh was. You could make the case that he was sort of integral in Nebraska even getting into the Big Ten. Or are we going too far?
We're gonna get into Mayhem Monday on that.
Okay.
So let's hold that, because I
hold that thought.
Don't take my script and force me to come up with a new Mayhem Monday.
Okay.
Because that's going to tie into what we're going to talk about.
The
Mayhem
reason,
Monday.
the reason Suh retired yesterday is because it was the anniversary of his dad's death.
He's been done for over a year.
Yeah,
he didn't play
2 years.
I mean, 2
years. He didn't play in 2023 or 2024,
but he kept his phone open,
right? And
now it's closed.
Yeah, his dad told him when his dad died. It was actually not yesterday. The anniversary was Saturday. His dad told him, you don't need to play football anymore. You've done all you need to do on the football field. Move on to the next chapter. And on Saturday, Suh decided to move on to the next chapter, full go.
If I'm Troy Dan and I'm Matt Rule, I'm calling Suh and say, all right, we want you back here in any capacity you want to be. Like, we'd love to have you be involved. You're retired.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a role that would fit you? And
well, maybe. I mean,
or is he above that?
He has a string of restaurants. He has his own. He manages restaurants. I'm going to say all over America. He lives in Florida. I want to say, I guess to put it in layman's terms, he works. So he's already got kind of a job. He has a lot to manage.
He never struck me as the coach type either, that he'd want to be involved.
We should address that, because there was a time when people were asking me if Suh's coming back to coach at Nebraska. Did you ever hear anything that would validate that at all?
No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't strike me as one that would want to be trying to coach 17, 18-year-olds.
Not sure why he would do it at this point.
And deal with maybe some of the things. It's rare. Now, DeMarco Murray is a notable guy that's coaching now in college football. And you hear guys like that get back into it. But Suh would be about as high profile as it gets.
Well, again, I don't see the fit at all. No. He's very successful in his enterprises off the field.
Warren Sapp obviously helped at Colorado, but
again, he's not like Suh though. Suh's business oriented. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, Suh and Warren Buffett are close.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that Suh would just stop what he's doing or put that stuff aside. I imagine he has a lot to manage daily.
We meet a lot of former retired athletes that get bored. Right. Suh's not bored.
No, he's not bored. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wouldn't just take on the coaching thing's not happening. I'll tell you that.
No.
Right now.
But yeah, if they can get him back more.
Do something.
There's this, because literally the last 25 years post Rose Bowl, Ndamukong Suh is the greatest thing that's happened in Nebraska football, and I'm not even sure what the next one would be. You could argue the Jack Hoffman run would be up there.
God, there's been some great players. Amir was
I'm talking about that move the needle at a high level nationally, a headline, a story, a player that everybody in America.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
That's why I put the Jack Hoffman run up there, because that won the ESPY.
Yeah, I don't.
As the greatest sports moment of the year. So there's not been much. And Suh and just his impact, and it all happened so quickly too in 2009. You knew how good he was going to be by the end of 2008, but that 2009 season, we'll never see another year like that, more than likely, from a player at Nebraska.
I agree. What you're saying about how much of an impact he made and how known he is. It was curious to me. There's a USA Today columnist who the column was entitled Retired Suh was a dirty player. He's also a Hall of Famer. He said in his opening line, this was curious to me. He said, Suh announced his retirement on Saturday. Some of you will know that name. Some of you will not. Like, wow. So who? I don't know. Maybe because we covered him and because he played at Nebraska, we have
That's a pretty bad take, though. I mean, he's the most decorated defensive player in college football history.
Yeah. Yeah, it was odd.
He's the first defensive player to win the AP Player of the Year award.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. Some of you will not remember. I'm like, wait a second. Anyway,
the highest paid player at one point. But all right,
He was. Hey, Sean, we covered him, and sometimes I still don't know how to put him in perspective. He was so good. He was so impactful. He was what a football player should be.
Put it this way: the front four was so good in 2009 that Bo Pelini really didn't have to blitz the whole year. They played with a 4-man rush. Right. And people max protected, and they still got home. But then in the Big 12 championship game against Texas, what did Bo Pelini do? He brought out blitzes. He had never shown all year. Wow. And I mean, Texas didn't know what to do because they had to worry about Suh, and then you had other players missing in. And I mean, that was that
quarterback?
Colt
McCoy. And I've told this story to you. That big screen at Jerry's World's incredible. I don't know how they do it. It's so clear. I have no idea how.
That was like 17 years ago.
What I'm saying is, they would show that quarterback, and I will never forget the fear in his eyes. He was terrified. Mostly because of Suh. And then reading about Suh this weekend in anticipation of this show, he struck terror into quarterbacks. They were terrified of him.
Do you remember that game, though? I might have been the first drive. Texas threw a pick. Like, it was like a tip ball, like physical. And at that moment, you're like, this is going to be a game.
Yeah.
And the point spread was like 2 touchdowns.
Was it really?
It was Texas was a huge favorite. Huge.
If Nebraska had any offense at all, wins that game.
I mean, Niles Paul ran a punt down to like the 3, and they couldn't get in.
They just didn't have an offense.
Well, Martinez was
they played Zach Lee.
Zach Lee, yeah. Taylor Martinez wasn't there till the next year. I'm sorry.
Right.
Zach Lee
he was limited, as you would say. He was limited. And
you had Rex lining up as like a wildcat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was they should have won a Big 12 championship. I mean, that's what should, and then you're looking at that team even much differently at Nebraska.
Good discussion.
All right, let's get in before we go to headline 2. HuskerOnline headlines brought to you by Billings Group. They're a trio of financial advisors made up of Lance and his 2 sons-in-law, Josh and Nate. They're based in Salina, and they help clients across the Midwest and beyond to make smart, competent decisions about their money, from your first real paycheck to your final retirement party. Billings Group is here to walk you through the highs and the lows. Billings Group, financial advisors by your side for life's journey. Visit them at billingsgroup.com. Securities offered by registered representatives through private client services, member FIRNA SIPC. Advisory services offered by advisory investment representatives through RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. RFG Advisory, Billings Group, and private client services are unaffiliated entities.
Clean. That was clean.
That was a good one.
That was clean.
All right, let's get into number 2. The HuskerOnline crew, we gave our early preseason predictions on Nebraska. And these are hard to do because, again, for Nebraska and a lot of teams in the Big Ten, these point spreads are all going to be like 3 to 6 points every week.
Yep.
And both Robin and I went with an 8-4, and you went with a 9-3. And I hesitated. I wanted to go 9-3,
mm-hmm.
but again, I didn't want to get caught in this camp of like overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I gave them a loss to USC and a loss to UCLA, and a loss to Michigan. I mean, those were obviously
that's 3
in the Penn State game.
Okay, that's 4.
But like I think it's tricky is like Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern. There's that 4-game sandwich there in the middle where theoretically Nebraska will probably be a favorite. Maybe not at Minnesota. It's hard to say how good Minnesota is going to be under PJ Fleck this year. They're always tough, as you know. But I think we all know that, getting a 4-0 out of that is probably unlikely just because of the way the Big Ten is.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think they'll lose to Minnesota. I guess the difference I think they'll get Michigan at home. So, and then I mean, that 4-game stretch that you're talking about is tough. I see them beating Maryland narrowly and losing to Minnesota. In fact, I saw there was on our message board somebody wrote that I'm just going to call it a betting service, has Maryland at the Maryland-Nebraska game a 50-50 game. I don't disagree with that.
Now, I will say, though, there will be a lot of Nebraska fans there. I was talking to somebody at the university, and they have more requests for that road game, or as many as any. Because there's so many alumni in Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, those areas that will drive in for that.
Are any
game.
of them defensive linemen that could come?
No,
down
but I'm saying it's not a hostile environment.
No, it's not.
And that's the one thing about this schedule that you like, that Penn State is really the only hostile environment they go into. The Rose Bowl won't be hostile.
Me and you are a little different on that whole subject. I look at quiet environments as more challenging.
I'm talking like with the crowd of Nebraska fans, though, you get energy from that. When there's 20,000 Nebraska fans.
Yeah, you definitely could get energy.
You get energy from that.
But when you go into quiet, it's hard. I've talked to coaches about that for years. Like Pelini hated going to Purdue and playing in front of nobody. In the media, you'd hear all these guys saying, well, there's nobody there, it'll be easy. No, that's not the way they look at it.
Well, Maryland, Minnesota, and UCLA will all have a lot of Nebraska fans on those trips. Penn State will not, because it's Penn State. They'll have a lot of fans there, but I think in terms of the road environments, it's a favorable setup, because there will be 3 of those games where there'll be a lot of Nebraska fans that make the trip.
As far as the picks go, it was very organic for me. I didn't overthink it. I just went through and thought, okay, 9-3. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to stop right now. I did it late at night, and I thought, I'm not going to do this thing where I try to make it convoluted. I think they'll go 9-3. I don't really want to apologize for it. You kind of have to around here, because people,
they get mad if it doesn't happen.
Right. And I understand. I totally understand that, but I just don't think it's a stretch. The thing you got to emphasize is, I don't know how often they're going to get this favorable schedule.
No, I saw a ranking that came out, and Nebraska has the easiest Big Ten schedule. That's what it said. There was a list that just came out this weekend.
Yeah, you're just not going to get it all the time.
No. But again, we thought last year was favorable. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew Illinois and Indiana were going to have like their best years of all time.
Right.
Or 2 of their best years in a long time. Indiana all time. Illinois, probably one of their better years in recent history. Mm-hmm. So what will there be a team on this schedule that does that? Like somebody,
like Cincinnati, maybe. I mean, here's the thing. You covered this already, but I think there's just going to be a lot of close games, and all over the country. This is the discussion. In fact, you know what I've come to hate? We'll continue to do it, but I hate it. Oh, they lost 4 games, but 3 of them are by 1 score. I don't want to hear it anymore. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't, Sean, it's almost irrelevant the way college football is now. Everybody plays close games all the time.
So there's 3 things for me about this team. Number 1, Dylan. Does he have that dog, that grit to make the play, even if it's not pretty, to win these games? Because that's a big if.
Does he have guys to go to?
Does he have guys? But does he have that inner dog in him?
I do think he does.
To get it done. That's big. The running back room. What will that look like? Can they run the ball at a pace to push 200 yards or 170 in a Big Ten game?
Or also red zone. You got to run in the red zone. We always talk about Nebraska's red zone deficiency. A lot of it's just the field shortens. Dana Holgerson's creativity doesn't matter nearly as much. You got to be able to run it.
So you're not a fan of the shotgun run on the 2-yard line?
No, I'm not, frankly. I mean, you got to be able to run. You got to be able to run conventional run plays.
And they had that with Dowdell last year. And
they did.
I mean, he was good in that situation.
He was good deep red zone. I'm talking more
at the 20, at the 17.
Yeah, you got to run there too.
And then finally, do they have the horses up front to stop the run?
Right.
Like what? I mean,
yeah, I totally agree with you, Sean.
I mean,
those are the questions.
They lost a 6th year, a 5th year, and a 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
Butler, Hutmacher, and Robinson. And you don't just replace that.
No. The other thing, going back to the run game and the ability to stop the run, you salt away games. by being able to run the ball and by being able to stop the run. So you're exactly right. What I don't want to hear at the end of this season is, Nebraska lost 5 games, but 4 were close. It doesn't matter.
They're all close in this league, right?
Well,
everybody.
In college football, I mean, that's the way college football is now. I mean, look at the SEC, how much parity there is.
It's like the NFL. I mean,
right.
NFL,
right. Thank you.
The Chiefs win by 3,
right?
But no one says, "Oh, they only won by 3."
No. That conversation's got to stop. It's got to stop. Well, for any team, for Cincinnati, I was reading about Cincinnati. Oh, they lost 7 games, but 4 or 1 score. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Sorry.
All right, let's before
anyway, 9-3. You got 8-4.
Robin
8-4.
did 8, and I hesitated. I just didn't want to get nailed for overhyping.
Well, I don't think I'm overhyping. I don't look.
Well, the over under set 7.5. So you're a plus 1.5. I'm a plus half.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go to headline 3, we're brought to you by HelloFresh. If you're not familiar with HelloFresh, they make it so much easier for you to cook at home, do things easy, healthy, and not have to go to the grocery store. You want to, in the summer, you want to be at the lake, you want to be at the pool. You don't want to have to go to the grocery store on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh God, I did it twice.
And instead, HelloFresh, what they do is you pick out your meals. Like, hey, you know what? My family's going to be home. We know for dinner twice this week, maybe 3 times. There's 4 of us. There's 2 of us, whatever the number is. You pick your meals. There's about 50 different options, and they send you the meat, the produce, everything you need, the spices on an easy to follow recipe card. And you can get these meals done in as easy as 15, 20 minutes. Some take a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, it's going to look like you're a world-class chef. Like my wife's like, "You made all this?" I'm like, "Yep."
You're a good chef.
Yesterday, I literally cooked I don't even want to, like $40 or $50 of chicken and steaks for the week. That's what I have to. Well, I do that all week. Like I'll cook
it already
because I don't have time during the rest of the week to do it. So then, we box it up and use it throughout the week.
Might be time for a maid over there.
No. But HelloFresh has a great deal right now at HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM. And that 10FM means 10 free meals.
Ooh.
And you'll get a free item for life as well. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM to get the 10 free meals and a free item for life in every box. HelloFresh.com/Husker10F. That's 1 per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on your first box. New subscribers only, and it varies by plan. Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Headline Show. Okay, let's get into 3.
Okay.
It's SEC Media Days week. What will the agendas be coming out of Atlanta? And
what do you think?
I already read one thing from Greg Sankey.
What?
He goes, everyone talks about forming these super leagues and this and that. He goes, well, basically, I got news for you. This is a super league.
Well, I hope he stands pat. I mean, I don't want to see. I don't know exactly what he's talking about when he says super leagues, but the vision I have is like 24 teams, right?
And when he said this super league is more well thought out as far as geography,
it's regional,
and where
I'm jealous.
Kind of took a swipe a little bit at how the Big Ten's.
Well, yeah. I mean, aren't you a little jealous? Admit it, Sean.
Yes and no. I mean,
wouldn't you like to be a regional conference? Don't you think that I can't say the word homogeneous or whatever the hell it is. That they're compact down there in the Southeast, Come on.
For traveling fans.
No, for everything. That's what you want, right? The Big Ten's kind of a freak show. Just say it. It's kind of a freak show. Right?
I mean, just in terms of the travel, I think the Big Ten, though, has done a good job of making it where you only play one West Coast road trip. Like Nebraska only goes to California once, and then a California team comes here. I mean,
you're doing a good job.
You're not going to Oregon and Washington.
You are going to Maryland and UCLA.
Yeah, and you go east once.
Yeah.
But, hey, Nebraska has 4 road trips. Kansas City and 4 road games.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you act like what's so hard about that?
Okay,
it's a 2.5.
You're wrong on this one.
You ask 2.5 hour
in America how they feel about traveling to both coasts. Okay. I mean,
It's a 2.5 hour flight.
I get you're a honk for the Big Ten, but sometimes you take it a little too far. Sean, I get it. I get what you're doing. You're a Big Ten guy. I am too, by the way, but I also can see things for what they are. I mean, it would not be it's not, no coach in America would say, yeah, I don't mind going to Maryland and then going to UCLA. No, you don't want that. It's hard to do.
You like the check, though, and it's bigger than the SEC's check.
Okay.
Do you like the money?
I guess.
Or you want to take a pay cut just so you can have a game at Mississippi State?
Well, we don't got to make it personal here.
Another nugget that came out of there from Brett McMurphy. SEC's Greg Sankey said he spoke with Big Ten's Tony Petitti 4 out of the 5 days last week. We have a different view of the college football playoff.
Uh-oh.
We have a 12-team playoff that can stay in 2026 if we do not agree on a new format. So I think it's almost becoming likely
it does seem
that
way.
We're going to see the 2025 and the 2026 be 12-team. But
that is really that is illuminating what you just said. They're butting heads. The SEC and the Big Ten, Sean, do you see what's happening right now? They're butting heads because Petitti wants the 4 automatic
with
bid.
the playoff games or play-in games, which could triple your conference championship revenue weekend. I mean,
so why doesn't the SEC want that?
They probably think that they can get more than 4 in always, and that's their thing. I mean, like, because if you're the 5th or 6th SEC team in some of those fan bases, you're probably getting fired.
This is kind of exasperating. The SEC and the Big Ten aren't getting on the same page here, Sean.
Again, I think if they could agree on the schedule metrics of 9 games equal, but then at that point, SEC is going to say all records aren't created equal at that point. Like it's
Hold on. We have to expand on this. Wouldn't Nebraska want 5+11? Wouldn't Dannon go to Petitti and say, we want access?
I think Nebraska would have a better chance to get in as a 5 or a 6 in the Big Ten in a play-in weekend game than having to rely on the committee.
Okay.
Because the committee might say, oh, Nebraska, if they're scheduled this year, if they go 10-2, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
Because you lost to Penn State and you lost to Michigan or USC. So who's your quality wins against? Like them, like that. I think you take it out of the committee. We're like, all right, we got to get in the top 6. And if we get in the top 6, we have a shot to go to the playoff.
Yeah, because you're talking about a 6 versus 3 or a 5 versus 4.
And then a 1 versus 2 for like your top seed out of the conference.
I don't know what to say about this. There's a standoff. We have a standoff, Sean. Is there any shot? Okay. If someone's going to give ground, who is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Because
Petitti.
But they're 50-50. No, they have to agree.
I know. So nobody's going to. What you're telling me is nobody's going to give ground.
It could stay at 12.
Yeah.
So what happens if the Big Ten wins another national title this year? It'd be 3 in a row. I mean,
but I'm trying to look at it from Nebraska's standpoint. Would they want it to stay at 12 or go to 16? Because I don't know. I just see more access at 16. You don't necessarily.
This is what another McMurphy quote. SEC's Greg Sankey on the future of the playoff. Should it be 12, 14, or 16? Or you wait long enough, someone will introduce another number to be considered.
The other thing about it is we've covered this last week. The SEC, Big 12, and ACC are on the same page. The Big 10's the outlier. That's a tough situation for Petitti to be in, right? He's got to fend off 3 conferences. He's on the opposite page of 3 conferences. It can't be easy for him.
Because the reason why is they're the only league that has this intricate plan to have the play-in game weekend.
Right. That's a great plan.
That will make just
zillions of
buco bucks.
Yeah.
And the SEC could do it too.
Why not? Why wouldn't they do it?
Probably because they think that more than 6 deserve in.
God.
That's
the thing about this. I don't understand why the SEC wouldn't want to do the play-in weekend.
They probably believe that they'll have 7 or 8 teams that could get in the playoff. And if you cap it at 6.
Or is it because, Sean, it could be that, or could it be this? that Sankey doesn't want to give into that, because the Big Ten's going to say, well, you got to play 9 conference games if we're going to do this. And they just won't do that.
Well, they could do the play-in weekend and just do 8. And then I don't like the committee having as much power as they do. I would like it to be controlled a little bit by on the field.
Yeah.
Because not all leagues are equal. Like, I would like to see 2 Big 12 teams in every year. I don't think the 5+11 is going to allow that.
Unless the Big 12 keeps getting better, which they think they're going to.
Like Texas Tech and BYU.
BYU, they're getting better.
Arizona State.
Better. They're getting better.
And
See,
look,
I think that the Big 12 believes down the line they'll be good enough to get 2 in.
Now, the ACC, like, they probably think that they can get 3 in with Clemson, Miami, Florida State.
In a 5+11.
Louisville.
In a 5+11.
Yeah, in a 5+11. So, like, if you give them just 2, and that's the problem. Those leagues with the 2 auto bids, they can't do like a intricate championship weekend.
Fans are watching us right now. Are they exasperated by this? That these people can't get on the same page?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think in 2026 it'll still be a 12-team playoff is the way it feels right now. I mean, we're just going to have to do this a whole nother year.
It's all right. It's interesting.
All right.
TD's digging in, it sounds like, right? Right?
He doesn't say much publicly.
No.
We'll hear him on Tuesday.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Before we go to headline 4, Husker Online headlines brought to you by Ridge. If you're not familiar with Ridge wallets and Ridge products, highly quality stuff. Kind of changes your wallet game. And it's not just wallets. It's all. They have luggage. They have everything you can imagine. But wallets are the real specialty, and they make this. You can fit it in your front pocket. It can fit 12 cards, like your license or credit cards, and there's a cash strap on there. It comes in several different colors. I mean, this thing is practically bulletproof. It might be bulletproof.
Oh, let's not test that.
But you can get a team one of your favorite team. They also sell a traditional wallet if you like a leather Ridge wallet, and that's what I have. I have both. But we have a great deal. Get 10% off Ridge. Go to ridge.com/Husker, the promo code Husker, and you'll get 10% off your order of Ridge. And a lot of these wallets are already discounted down, and it's going to take another 10% off that price as well. So thank you to Ridge. They're making your life easier. They're trying to organize your wallet and organize your day-to-day life. Visit them again at ridge.com/Husker. Okay, let's get into number 4.
Okay.
MAYHEM Monday. And I wanted to go back to Suh.
Okay. Because
I don't think a lot of people realize this, but there was a time in 2008 before when Bo Pelini first got here, Suh was very close to leaving Nebraska. And it was a lot closer than people realize.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
He was considering Oregon and Oregon State, and he had a foot out the door. And Suh had a knee surgery at the end of the 07 season. So
07.
He was out of commission. Really, he was out of commission all winter, all spring with Bo Pelini. All he could do was kind of sit down with like Papuchis and Carl Pelini and Bo and watch film and study. But you think about what would Nebraska have been without Suh? There's been so little for this program to hang its hat on since 2001.
So Suh, Bo came in 08.
08 season, yeah.
Right.
And Suh was recovering. And when I was interviewing Barney Cotton for the book interview, Barney said, like, people don't realize even in 08 when Suh came back, like that was a year-long deal. And he came back like as fast as I've ever seen. Either Papuchis or Cotton told me this, that he returned off that injury as fast as I've ever seen. So he wasn't all in 08, he wasn't all the way until the end of the year.
God, and he still had 76 tackles,
but
7.5 sacks.
What I remember in 08.
Hey, Sean, hold on. 16 tackles for loss, and he wasn't at his best. 16 TFLs. Woo!
But we saw his best against Colorado and Clemson.
Yeah. Late in the season.
I mean, that Clemson game.
Now it's coming back to me. You're right. Late in that season is when we started thinking, oh, this guy could be a freak.
He didn't solidify first team all Big 12 until November. I mean, September and October, he was not regard. You got to remember the Big 12 was the SEC back then. That was a really good league in 08. I mean, the talent and the teams in that league. And Suh, was going against good linemen from Texas and Oklahoma and other places where,
Absolutely.
He wasn't regarded yet as an all Big 12 first teamer.
Not till late in the 2000s.
And then at the end of November, it was unanimous.
2008.
Yep. 08 season.
Then he started to look like a freak. And then, of course, his last season, 2009, 85 tackles. I was spitting 21 tackles for loss. 12 sacks by an interior lineman.
That was getting triple teamed.
That's just remarkable.
But you think about what he meant by him staying at Nebraska, not going to Oregon State and Oregon, staying for 08.
Staying for 08. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And then coming back for 09.
What's it mean to you?
What it means to me is Nebraska, you could make a legitimate case. They may not have been an attractive addition to the Big Ten.
Not as attractive.
Well, they were a top 10 team when the Big Ten courted them. And it appeared that they were going to be a top 10 team for a long time.
Yeah, you give Suh a lot of credit there.
I mean, Suh elevated.
And that defense.
Suh elevated the stock of Nebraska at the end of the 09 season, the highest it's been in the last 25 years. And it happened to be right at the point of conference realignment.
When it was happening. It was happening behind the scenes.
When you're doing your sales pitch to Jim Delaney, you're selling that season, and you're selling Suh.
Yep.
And this is the team we're bringing in the Big Ten.
Right.
Now, if it's Nebraska, like right now, what
are you saying?
What are you selling?
I don't know.
What's the set? I mean, you still have, but Suh really helped make it a no-brainer for the Big Ten to invite Nebraska in. Like that year.
If you're selling them right now, you're still selling tradition, right? You're still selling, fan popularity, sellout streak, TV numbers. But you're right. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I want to be careful not to give Suh too much credit. He deserves credit, a lot of it. I mean, you got to give Bo credit. I mean,
his season though elevated everything at the point where it needed to be elevated. Then that off season is when
it all happened.
It all happened.
Right. And it all happened.
But then in 2010, Suh was gone.
Right.
But that is the only week Nebraska's been ranked in the top 5, the 2010 season, since the Rose Bowl season. They've been only ranked in the top 5 1 week for 25 years.
That's hard to hear. It's hard to hear. But you're right. Now, when you say Suh thought about leaving, it was after the 2007 season. Not a lot of people, some know it, not a lot remember it. When you said that to me yesterday on Sunday, I was like, God, that's right.
Well,
but it largely escaped much. Did it get a headline?
No, because
I don't think it did.
Transfer portal wasn't around,
right.
and the coach had to approve transfers. But you got to remember, the 07 defense was so bad when it needed a complete rebuild. But there was talent.
There was talent.
That's what Eckler told me. I saw Eckler years ago, not recently.
Right.
He was coaching at Kansas. I ran into him at a hotel at a camp. And he's like, Sean, when we got to Nebraska, that wasn't a rebuild. There were dudes there. It needed Bo's scheming to get it going.
Right.
But they had material.
Right.
Like Callahan recruited.
Yeah, for sure. There were guys on that defense.
Like Callahan recruited the best players to Nebraska in the last 25 years.
No doubt about it. Oh, Bo was the benefactor of that. He was. Now, I will say this, though. I don't agree with people who say Bo couldn't recruit. He brought in too many guys that you'd say, no, wait, yeah. Rex.
Levante.
Amir.
Will Compton.
Yeah,
Amir.
Randy. Malik.
I mean, just think about tight ends. You would take like Ben Cotton and Kyler Reed and all these guys now.
It's a misnomer that Bo couldn't recruit.
Okay, look at Eric Martin.
Right.
He made Eric Martin a version of DeMario Williams, and he was an all Big Ten player.
Right.
He had 10 sacks.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean,
they brought in guys.
You took like that for granted.
Right.
Like
we came to
Eric Martin coming and just becoming like a 10 sack guy. Like
going to the NFL.
They don't even have like guys like that right now.
Right. Do they?
10 sack guys, I'm talking.
I don't see one right now.
No. Recently. Who have they had?
They haven't.
You had a year
I'm talking about this defense.
Khalil Davis did like over 10 once recently, but that's it. I mean,
that's a while ago. Hopefully they have one on this team, but I don't see one on this team right now.
Oh, in this league to get 10 sacks.
You better be good.
I mean, Randy Gregory led the Big Ten in sacks his first year.
If someone gets 10 sacks, they're a first rounder, almost certainly, right?
Because you're doing it against the best tackles.
Yeah.
But yeah, Suh almost left.
Mayhem Monday.
He stayed, and we tried to keep it. Now I've gotten a lot of good suggestions on Mayhem Mondays.
Do you want to say a few?
No, keep sending them our way. We discussed them.
Mayhem Monday though would be Suh leaving. Woo.
And this is an off-season deal. Like when the season starts, we won't be able to do a Mayhem Monday because we won't have a Monday show.
I don't even. Yeah, I know.
So
I'm still thinking about the possibility of Suh leaving, and it freaks me out.
It would change a lot of things.
Ah.
Okay, before we get to odds and ends,
we have a lot of odds and ends.
Headline 5 odds and ends brought to you by who?
Oh,
every time. One of these times you'll be ready.
Sean, we get deep into discussions, but it is headline number 5 is brought to you by Larsson Motors. If you're looking for a new vehicle, how about going for a new experience in Nebraska City at Larsson Motors? It's one of the Midwest's only dealerships with all the major brands in one location. Finding your new Chevrolet, GMC, Hummer, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram, it's never been easier. So start your new experience today at LarssonMotorGroup.com. Click on LarssonMotorGroup.com or just go to Larsson Motors in Nebraska City, right down the road from Lincoln. Pretty accessible from Omaha. Larsson Motors, real people,
real deals. Okay, headline 5, odds and ends.
We have a lot of them.
Start off first. Jaden Doss goes in the portal, kind of on that special window. Both Kansas,
the DSA window,
Kansas and Kansas State, both are showing interest. Talk to Derek Young at K-State Online and John Kirby at Jayhawk Slant this weekend. It sounds like Kansas might have the leg up right now to land Jaden Doss. So we'll see. If that's
he's a Kansas City kid. Peculiar, Missouri. It's Kansas City. I think what he looks like to me is like not a 1, 2, or 3 guy on those teams. And if you look at, they brought in portal guys. Both those teams brought in portal guys. He looks like a 4, 5, or 6, but he'd be good. He'd be a good 4, 5, or 6.
And here's the problem. Like I was talking to John Kirby this morning about it. And I go, look, a year ago, they moved him back to defensive back, but Nebraska brought in 2 good portal receivers that played big snaps. And then they had Ja'Cory Barney. Well, this year they brought in 2 better portal guys. They have Ja'Cory Barney, Cortez Mills, Janiron Bonner. He just kind of found himself as the odd man out.
He did.
When you already have more of a 5 or 6 man rotation.
Yeah.
Right
on the outside of
and
it.
even like Jeremiah Jones, like, do you want to give snaps to him or Jeremiah Jones? I
No.
mean, those are the battles I
Right.
think coaches.
Yeah.
And I think Dakeil Shorts and Dana Holgerson, they have their own idea of what they want this to be. And Cortez Mills is probably going to factor in a lot too.
Oh, yes. What else?
So we'll see where he ends up going. All right. Another odds and ends. Okay. A lot last week was made about Scott Frost's comments at Big 12 Media Days. Well, come to find out, it was an off the record conversation, but as you and I know, when you're at an event like that, nothing's off the record. And he was just kind of casually having and you and I have had a lot of conversations with Frost over the years where if we would have put what he said on the record, it would have done something similar, but you kind of know. I just have a sense when a guy's talking to me, I'm like, yeah, this is not meant to be on the record.
I mean, sometimes unfortunately, this could be a full segment or a half-hour segment. It's tricky. A lot of coaches will do the thing. You've done this too, where you'll be talking to them on the record, and then they'll say, "This is off the record." Then they go back on the record. Then they want to go back off the record. So I think what you said originally is the most important thing, and I've told coaches this for years. Don't ever. Nothing's off the record. Especially with guys you don't know. Nothing's off the record. Don't do this is off the record, because some guys will just violate it and come back at you with, hey coach, nothing's off the record.
And what happens at a deal like a media day is like, it could be you and me talking to somebody 3 or 4 or 5 people kind of barge in,
and you're just standing there
and
talking.
you might be having your personal conversation with that coach,
and you might be off the record,
and that you've known this coach for 25 years.
You're just talking,
and some rookie hotshot that's trying to get a lot of Twitter traction or like chimes in and writes down what that coach is. Then all of a sudden that's on the record.
Yeah.
And that, but again, it's a lesson.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing where you don't let Frost off the hook. He said it.
Yep.
He said it
at a media days.
And he meant it. It's almost, I hope I can convey this. It almost means more to me that he got caught, because it meant that he really meant it, because he was off the record. He really meant it. He wasn't trying to dress anything up. He said what he meant. And that's, honestly, that's the problem. He really means it.
And it's one of those deals where
he took the wrong job and he won't take accountability.
There's the podium, and he's not going to say it on the podium. And there's a side table. You're not going to say it, but it's when you're standing around like shooting the breeze.
When you say your true feelings.
And yeah, those were his true feelings.
That's the thing. So off the record, on the record, he said his true feelings. Probably got caught, he probably did get caught, but whatever, he said it. I don't like the way it came out, if that's right, if it's off the record, but the fact is he said it and it doesn't look good. And it's a shallow thing to do too, is come back and say that was off the record.
All right.
Coaches got to know, especially Frost, who's been around. He's 50 years old now. He's 50, maybe older now. Is he 50? He's
pushing 50.
Yeah, he's pushing 50. He's been around. He should know by now those settings. There's no off the record. That's a rookie mistake.
Moving on, big weekend for the Bryces. Bryce Williams played in the NBA Summer League. Bryce Matthews, former Husker baseball player, got called up to the Houston Astros. How about the Bryces?
Yeah, Bryce. Now, I know you're critical of me for having no life sometimes. I did watch Bryce Williams.
You watch NBA Summer League.
I like Summer League. I like it. I mean, there's games, Sean, 3:30, 5:30, 7:30, 9:30. It's incredible.
Is it like 3 weeks or 2 weeks?
It's 11 days.
That's all it is.
It's 11 days. Yeah. I think they're on day 5 now.
So when we're out in Vegas, are they going to be playing?
Hello. They might be done by then. You have to do the math. I think they're on day 5 right now.
Yeah, they'll be done.
They'll be done. Yeah. Bryce, 14 minutes yesterday, came off the bench. 14 minutes, 4 of 9, 10 points, 2 of 6 from deep. He looks good to me. I don't know why he didn't start. I don't know what that's all about. But when he's in there, I'm not backing down. I think he's going to play in that league. I just don't understand why he's not starting. If that's injury or something, I don't know.
Well, then Bryce Matthews got called up to the Astros.
How about that?
So there's now 6 former Huskers in the Major League Baseball right now. So it's definitely the good group of guys that, and
who is the 6?
The 6 players: Jake Myers, also with Houston; Bryce Matthews, Houston; Aaron Bummer, Atlanta; Cade Povich, Baltimore; Spencer Schwellenbach, Atlanta; and then Matt Waldron is in San Diego. Now he's gone back and forth this year from MLB to AAA, but he's up and down on the roster.
Schwellenbach's been extraordinary. Now he's hurt. He's out for the year. He has an injury, Sean.
So those are the 6 guys.
They've done well
that have gotten called up. Big Major League Baseball draft was this weekend too. And this is not shocking at all, but only 6 Big Ten players were drafted in the first 105 picks.
6 Big Ten in the first
105. And to put it in perspective, the SEC, of the 24 collegiate players drafted first, 13 were from the SEC.
First round?
I don't know if some of those might have been second because it's high school players. I'd have to go back and count, but 13 of the first 24 college players drafted came from the SEC.
Oh, 13 of the first 24. Wow.
College players drafted because high school guys get drafted too.
Got it.
But Arkansas and Tennessee each had 4 draft picks in the first 105. The Big Ten overall had 6.
I mean, it's a different world, as you know. You've watched enough to know the SEC baseball's a different world. It's a different world.
Yeah, and that draft kind of solidifies that. So We'll see if any Huskers get drafted. It's a smaller draft than it used to be, I believe. It's not near as many rounds. I mean, there used to be it was like 50 rounds or something where, you would have everybody get drafted. I mean, like they would just draft people to draft people, but they've kind of slimmed down the draft a lot over the years. We'll see if any Huskers get picked here.
Good numbers, Sean.
And then Valdon Sonier will make his decision this week. I don't know what day, but it is notable of all the official visitors Nebraska brought in June, he is the only one that's not made a collegiate decision. So it tells you recruiting right now is very much a Memorial Day to July 4th business.
It's like a month, right?
6 weeks. Yeah.
6 weeks.
I mean, about a month, 6 weeks where you bring your visitors in, you better figure out what your financials are. You better figure out what their numbers are, and you bring the right guys in and you have to close. Of the top 300 players in the Rivals on 3 industry rankings, only 30 have not made decisions.
This is great.
So over
great information.
Over 90% of prospects, over 90, are already committed.
Yep. That's the game now. That's the game.
So what's going to happen in the fall? And I don't know where Sonier is going to. I don't have a great feeling with Nebraska and Sonier that they're going to get him because of the front loading and the money and the market and PPI and how they're run. I mean, they're going to get him a lot of money. So we'll see kind of where he ends up going when it's all said and done. But during the season, Nebraska will probably try to circle back in and bring in guys that are committed elsewhere as visitors on campus. And then obviously a lot of 2027s. Like it will be a big Trey Taylor season where I'm sure Trey Taylor will try to help recruit 2027s to get those kids to Lincoln.
Tricky business now to bring guys in that are already committed and hope to flip them. It's tricky business.
So we'll see where that goes, but lot of content here today, Sipple.
God. To review, we continue to butt heads a little bit on the Big Ten SEC. That's really revealing what you told me about Sankey, saying that he and Petiti aren't on the same page.
I think we kind of figured that out, though, the way everyone's ganged up.
Yep. Petiti, do you understand? He is the lone soldier fending off 3 other power conference.
But for anything to advance, I think they have to both agree or compromise something.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, they do. The thing maybe I'm making too big of a deal of it, but if you're Petiti, are you okay with being the one that's holding up, I'll say, progress?
Well, the model that he wants to present, the business model, will make his members more money.
And he's got to answer to his constituency.
Like right now, a Big Ten title game pays the Big Ten teams about $100 million divided by 18.
He's got to answer
if he can say, look, we can do $300 million off a play-in weekend divided by 18. That's another $16 million a school.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of money. The other leagues can't, and the SEC could do something similar.
Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when Sankey and Petiti are hashing this stuff out?
What I like, again, we've talked about this, but what I like about the play-in model is you can schedule as aggressive as you want in the non-conference and not have to worry about the committee dinging you.
Not too much.
Like for a loss.
Right. Not too much. Because
it's conference standings.
Right. You might get in it with 3 regular season losses. Whew.
All right. Well,
I just the hold up for me is, as far as Petiti goes, is I am not big on autos. I like that 5-11 model that has no automatic qualifiers. You got to win your conference. The 5 highest rated conference champions.
I like it as long as the SEC goes to 9.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, me and you we've reached an agreement, Sean.
Well, I think if they would agree to go to 9, the Big Ten would be on board with it.
That is a big if. I think that's a big if,
because they don't want to fire all their coaches for going 7-5.
Well, what's the ACC's reasoning then?
They use the rivalry weekend games as the reasoning, like Clemson, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisville.
They use those.
Florida State.
Okay.
Like they play those inter-conference matchups.
So that's their reason,
and that's kind of how they. But the good teams like Clemson and Georgia, they still play 2 Power 5 non-conference games or 2 Power 4s. So like those the Clemsons and the Georgias will end up playing 10 P4 games.
Oof. People forget that the ACC is only playing 8 too. It's always the SEC is only playing 8 conference games. No, the ACC is only playing 8 as well. I mean, people forget that, but what a mess.
I mean, look at Georgia's like road schedule. Like it's crazy. They hardly go anywhere this year.
No, I know. Oh yeah, I know. We didn't talk about what guys are like. Arch Manning's tomorrow. The big day for coaches is in the SEC is tomorrow.
It's actually a 4-day extravaganza. Big Ten is 3. And we've got to the point like where we go just one day. We go to the Nebraska day because our viewers and listeners, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to dig in hard on all 18 teams.
No, they don't. No. Our readers don't want to read about Penn State, Ohio State. They don't. So we're leaving. When are we leaving?
Monday. So we will have shows this week, Wednesday, Friday. Next week will be a little different. We're going to get a show done before we leave Monday, and then we'll come back and do a show Thursday.
Okay.
And then Friday we'll have headlines.
Hello.
So busy week next week. But all right, for Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan. Thanks for joining us here on another edition of Husker Online Headlines.